Hello there, my good friends. Welcome to episode number 17, titled How I Arrived into the Real Estate Business. But before getting started, I would like to take a moment to thank those of you who responded to the two questions I posed to you in episode number 16. What happened and why hasn't? What happened to all of the Black-owned businesses in the city of Richmond, and why hasn't there been a return of a percentage of those businesses? Please continue to leave your comments, even if you don't really know. Think about it. I really would want you to think of what happened and why hasn't all of the Black-owned businesses. Just investigate our minds to come up with some thoughts regarding what happened and why it hasn't. Leave your comments. You can ask your questions, and most of all, subscribe so these episodes will come directly to you. Now, I do have a correction to make on episode number 16. I stated that the Downbeat Club and nightclub in North Richmond was owned by John and Frances Carson. Well, I found that out to not to be so. I was having a conversation with my good friend Gloria Scoggins, and she brought it to my attention that the Strickland family was the owners of the Downbeat Club in North Richmond on York Street. So I took the time to call Larry Strickland to apologize to him regarding that misstatement. And not only did Larry so graciously accept my apology, but he's also told me that John and Frances Carson did own the club right there on York Street, but it was called the Ace Club. So I want to thank Gloria. I want to thank Larry for the participation, and I want to encourage you to also, if you see something, feel something, or just question something, please leave your comments. And again, you could text me, you could email, or you could leave your comments right after each episode. I do notice that some don't like to do that, so you call me, and that's okay. That is okay. I jot down, I'm keeping a record of your comments, and it's greatly appreciated. So continue to do so. Also, in episode number 16, left out a group of businesses, and that was for the sake of time. One of the comments I had was that this one was, well, by far, it was the longest one, and it was stated that perhaps it was too long. But in any event, there was a group that was left out. Now, some of you may remember CJ's Lounge. CJ's Lounge. It was located in the Mercantile Center. Now, the Mercantile Center was located there between 10th, 11th, 12th, and McDonald Avenue. It was CJ's Lounge. The C stands, and I'm saying stand because Carolyn is still with us, for Carolyn Smith. She and her husband, Ted Smith, own probably the largest African-American owned janitorial service in the city of Richmond, employing well over 100 people. Carolyn Smith of the C, J's Lounge. Now the J stood for Juanita Fuller. She and her husband, Leroy Fuller, Mr. and Mrs. Leroy Fuller, they owned, the Sunny Boys Market there in North Richmond. They owned Fuller's Liquors on 2nd and McDonald, the Fuller's Liquors on South 15th and Cutting, Fuller's Liquors on South 29th and Cutting, and they also owned Fuller's Funerals there on like 31st and Cutting Boulevard. So that was in the Mercantile Center. Now, right next door in that area was Ali Dean's Beauty Supply. We had a beauty supply owned by African-American. Ali Dean was her name, grew up here in the city of Richmond. It was a place for all the cosmetologists and the barbers were able to go to buy their supplies. In addition, she was a cosmetologist herself, so she was able to do hair and styling and things such as that. Then we had Mrs. Peoples. She owned ice cream parlor there in the Mercantile Center. And the great Lillian Mae Jones, I know many of you remember her. She ran an organization called Cycle out of the Coronado Neighborhood Council, 501c3. And then there was the Richmond Management Service Corporation, Dick Weinkauf and my good friend Eli Williams and Billy Richardson. They were there, and that was a part of the Model Cities program in the city of Richmond. And then you had Ira and Wanda's Boutique. Here we had a ladies' store owned by a husband and wife team, Ira and Wanda. They were both AC Transit bus drivers, and they had opened up a boutique there in the Mercantile Center. And later on, there was Sadie's Restaurant. Many of you remember Sadie's Restaurant. If I'm not mistaken, it was owned by the Williams family. I think Otis, he was the managing owner of Sadie's Restaurant. So you could see that was a block of businesses right there in that Mercantile Center that was very unique. And remember the two questions: what happened and why hasn't? Then we had, I left out my good friend Joe Robinson, Joseph Robinson. He was one of the young entrepreneurs here in Richmond, and he owned the gas station. And I don't want to forget him. And now, Lester and I had opened up Les and Joe's Boutique. It was a men's store. And we knew we would have a tough time. We knew we would have to work extremely hard in this industry. We also knew that it would be difficult to compete against the more established businesses, especially in the men's industry. So what we decided to do, we decided to go a way of a specialty store, a boutique, a store of style, a quality, and most of all, good service. We became fashion coordinators, if you will. You know, a lot of people can afford a lot of things, but don't really know how to lay them out. We took pride into laying things out. You could even bring your wardrobe you had already purchased and bring everything, and we would help to organize in what you should wear with different outfits, suits, sport coats, and things such as that. We wanted style. And it was a store for a gentleman. You wouldn't see a Les and Joe's customer coming to a party, if you will, and everybody looking alike. That just didn't happen. We wanted to be different. We wanted to be of quality. We didn't want to, we definitely did not want to look out like Howdy Doody. You know how sometimes we're shown, you know, with all different colors and styles and plaids and stripes and everything, orange and blues. We didn't do that. Now, I did go a little to the extreme, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. We want it to be fashion coordinated with color and style with pattern coordination. That's what we wanted. It was a gentleman's look. Now, what that required a more sophisticated inventory control system. We had to have a system that kept us up on what was in the store, the inventory, because the inventory controlled everything, the bills, the rent, everything came out of the inventory. So we had to protect it. We had a great system, in my opinion, a great system. What the system would do, on the price tag, it would indicate when a garment came into the store, how many. It would give us all this information. Our job was to stay on top of it, and which we did. And so if a garment, or a shirt, a suit, or a sport coat, if it was in the store and we were reading the ticket and we found that the garment was in the store for 2, 3, 4 weeks, it was time to mark it down, put it on sale, because it was imperative that when repeat customers would come in maybe once a month, that all the time they would be able to see something new. So we took pride into that. And Levi Strauss, they provided us with a young man out that worked in the marketing department. He became our marketing director. So this is where we got a lot of that type of information to move forward. So it was a great system. And then at about the same time, in the same years to come, there were other men's clothing stores opening. For instance, the first one was the Yancey's clothes hanger. Yancey's clothes hanger was located on 14th and Broadway in the city of Oakland. Al's Men's Shop was located there on San Pablo Avenue, right across from Emeryville, Oakland. Billy Williams Boutique, he was a retired professional baseball player, owned a men's clothing store in Oakland. Also, the Odyssey men's store was open in Eastmount Mall. So what had happened, we found that we all had similar problems of doing business, and we teamed together. That was under the direction of Lenny Poindexter, as I mentioned, from Levi Strauss. We would actually buy together, fly together, New York, Los Angeles, to purchase inventory. We would do fashion shows. Many of you, or some of you, will remember some of the fashion shows that we would do at the Leamington Hotel and Goodman's Hall. And also we actually, my brother Jesse was the director of security at the Art Museum there on Durant. And they allowed us to do fashion shows coming up and down the hallways past those expensive art, Rembrandts, Picassos, different things such as that. It was very entertaining. Like I mentioned, we did a multitude of things together in a time where a lot of African Americans wasn't getting together to do anything. And so we were really working together on that. I want to move forward. And then in that same year of 1969, my good friend that I've known right there since grammar school, Washington Elementary School, Leroy Walker, he opened up a specialty store there in Point Richmond called Point International. So we're going to move forward. With these stores. And in the next episode, I want to continue to how we progressed, what other things happened, where we're going. And some of you are asking me right now, Joe, where are you going with this? You will see. And I think you will agree, and there'd be something that we could tie in together, that as we look at this, that we could be not just part of the problem, but come up with ideas that we could be part of the solution, breaking that curse of Willie Lynch. We have to break it and move forward. We can't continue to just complain. We have to do something. So I look forward being with you on episode number 18. And I want to thank you again for looking and hearing these episodes from 1 through 17. God bless you.